Hi guys and welcome back. So first of all, you'll notice that the start of the movie I've taken out the long intro. A few people mentioned that that was a bit too long, which I think I agree with. So just let me know what you think of it now, just getting straight into it. Myself, when I watch people's videos, I just whiz straight to the start. I'm not really interested in all the run up to it. So yeah, I've cut it down and hopefully you'll prefer it this way. So getting straight into it, this video I'm going to do a few of my little hints and tips in here in the man cave. So we're going to talk about glider categories and what you should start with, and don't run before you can walk, etc. A bit on helmets, a bit on harnesses, getting the right size harness and the right style harness. Don't go straight for a pod just so you look like you're a competition pilot, etc. We're also going to talk about learning the compass. I think that's really important when you're a beginner. Learning northeast, southwest and in the in-betweens. And also learn your sights guide. So whatever club you join, they will have a sight guide and tell you which different sights work for which different wind directions. So we're going to talk about that as well, amongst a few other things. It might be a bit boring for some of you because some of you just want to see me out on the hill doing stuff. This is going to be based in here really. We've got no good weather coming for about a week. When the good weather comes back, I'm then going to do the thermaling video and the flying video, etc. I've made up some new camera poles and I've got a new electronic pole that seems to work well. So we'll do that when the flying weather comes. But because we've had a run of bad weather, I thought I'd do this for you just so you got something to look at. And please remember, I've had a couple of guys, I've had hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of great responses, but a couple of guys have said, yeah, but that's rubbish, this is better. I'm not telling you these are the best ways. They're just my ways. I do keep saying this, so you can take them or leave them. They're just things I do. I'm just trying to show you little things that I do that might work for you. I am not saying these are the ways and I am the best. I'm just giving you some hints and tips. Please understand that. But to be fair, on a whole, 99%, the feedback's been absolutely mega. So thank you so much. And also the subscriptions. I'm amazed how many people have subscribed. So thanks for that. Must be doing something right. But yeah, I am not saying my way is the best at all. Okay, let's get to it. Okay, so we have in our categories A, B, C and D. You can see that I've ticked A and B. So as a beginner, an A glider is what you want. Possibly a B glider. We do have fairly talented people that come in from a full-size aviation background or even a model aircraft background, and I can tell straight away that they can definitely learn and go straight onto a B wing. But this is something that your instructor will advise you on. 99% of people tend to start with an A wing and do their course on an A wing. Maybe towards the end of their course, they'll move on to a B wing. But if you read these categories, they speak for themselves. It's just so important not to run before you can walk. I know a lot of you people out there look at these lovely big skinny C and D wings and think, oh, I want one of those. I'll look so cool on the hill. I absolutely guarantee it will end up biting you in the ass and it will really make a difference to your flying career. It will hold you back. It will slow you up. It might even put you off the flying. So just be sensible. Stick to an A or a B wing. And if you just read the C and D categories here, as I said on the A and B, they speak for themselves. Okay, so many years ago, I learned on a real pastel coloured Harley Typhoon or something. I don't really remember. It might have been a Airway Black Magic. And And then I immediately went on to, back then, what would have been a D-wing. These days, it would have been a DHV 2-3 back then. And I spun it. I just wasn't good enough for it. Luckily, I bounced into Bracken and I got away with it. And I did something else, I don't remember. I just kept having real close ones on it. It was much too advanced for my skills. So it actually knocked my confidence, it knocked my flying. So do not go for your C's and D's. I do see people turn up on the hills with far too advanced wings for their level. And we're not saying it because, oh, we don't want them to get better than us. It's not that. We just don't want to see any accidents. No one wants to see accidents. So honestly, if you put a top pilot on an A-wing and you fly a C or a D wing, although the wing may have better glide performance, etc., the top pilot on the A-wing will kick your ass. Simple as that, because he has the skills to fly the A-wing to 100%, whereas you'll be flying your D-wing or your C-wing probably at about 5 or 10%. So be realistic and fly an A or a B-wing. Trust me, your flying career will be better than running before you can walk. So yeah, honestly, stick to an A or a B. B-wings these days, well, all wings these days are amazing, but A and B wings are so good these days. So just really think about that. In my school, we get the odd person come through that are coming through, they're a helicopter pilot or they're a full-size jet pilot, airline pilot or whatever, or they've just really got good natural skills, they're naturally talented. I'm happy to teach them on a B straight away, no problem. I even did that with Sean, with my wife. She naturally picked it up quick. She went on to a B, and 3 or 4 years in now, she still flies B wings. But then again, we do get lots of students that it's obvious they need to stick or start with an A and fly it for a couple of years, and then they can move on to a B. I tell them, I will tell them when they're ready for a B. But ultimately, we do it for fun. Unless you're competing, an A or a B is perfectly good enough. I know lots of comp pilots, my old friends that I used to compete with, that only fly Bs now, and they have a ball. So just think about that. Just take it easy, guys. You know, don't be rushing. You want a C or a D because they look nice and skinny and long and sexy and sporty. Just think how good a pilot you need to be to fly one of those type of wings. So that's wings. Have a look into that, take your time, talk to your instructor. Your instructors know best. So be guided by your instructor, and you won't go far wrong. Okay, understanding weight range and all-up weight range. So if you look here, there's a 21 at the top of the screen. We've got a 21, a 23, a 25, and a 27. So if we come down to the 2 red stars, those are the weight ranges. So let's go for the 25, 80 to 100 kilogram. Now, I'm 80 kilogram. So a rule of thumb is, in the old days, we used to add 20 kilograms for all our equipment. So that's glider, harness with a reserve bag, clothing, food, drink, etc. But kit these days, it's got a bit lighter. So we tend to add between 15 and 20 kilogram. So if we look at that 80 to 100, I'm 80. So if we add 15, that puts me at 95, all up. That means I'm 5 kilo in the weight range. So I'm flying that glider just 5 kilo under the 100 top end weight range. So I myself like to fly gliders a little bit towards the top end of the weight range. So that's how it works. It's your weight plus 15 or 20 kilogram. Okay, harness buying. Again, be Listen to your instructor. Your instructor knows best, or obviously any mentor or anyone you trust in your flying community. But you want to make sure that the harness has been set up properly. And your instructor is without doubt the best person to show you that and to help you with that. So when you come to buying your harness, make sure you get the right size and make sure you hang up in it with your instructor and you get it all tuned up. Now, helmets, many people I see on the hills wear all sorts of skateboard and snowboard helmets. You want to check your insurance, guys, because your insurance may not cover you if you had an accident wearing that type of a helmet. You need to make sure you've got a certified aviation paragliding helmet to be insured. Just be aware of that, because this type of helmet may well not be covered by your flying insurance. So just check that out. Okay, another thing I would definitely recommend is most people these days have a smartphone. So again, ask your instructor, ask some of your peers at the flying club what weather apps they're using and start learning the weather. Become a pilot, start training yourself what the weather is saying it's going to be, and then when you get out there, see if you've got it right. Start training yourself up on the weather. Also, learn the compass. Learn north, east, south and west and the in-betweens. So when you actually look at the weather forecast and you look at your sights guide for your club, you can put them into practice and you know what hill to go to. Yeah, so when you join your club, they will have a sights guide on their website. Learn what sights are good and bad for a low-end pilot. You can also read on their website what sites are open and closed and site rules. This is something I find useful. I've added a little app on my mobile phone with a checklist of all the things that I always need to take with me on the hill. So just write down all your bits and bobs, things to do, charge radio, charge vario, make sure food and water is in for the day's flying. So yeah, a little app for your phone, checklist. Recheck the weather on the morning before you leave the house. It does change, it's only a weather forecast. So before you leave, recheck the weather. It might save you a trip. Yeah, this is a super important one. If you get on site and the weather looks bad, or you're airborne and the weather starts to look like it's getting bad, just land. Just get down. Don't carry on. Don't try and fly around it. This is when accidents happen. If it looks bad, land. This is quite a good one. It's simple. Just debrief. I learnt this through a really close friend of mine that got me into competition flying many years ago. He was sort of my mentor. And he told me what he does is after a day's flying, he'll sit down quiet, whether he's driving home or whether he's got home. He'll sit down quiet and he'll think about what he did good or what he did bad on that day. And he's honest about it. So if he had a great day, he'll think, well, why was it so good? And he'll analyse it. And the same goes for if it was a bad day. If it was a really bad day, why was it bad? Did I go out last night and drink and party too much? Many years ago, I looked out the window from where we live here and I could see loads of my friends flying, but I had a really bad flu. I was really ill, but I still went and flew, and I had a terrible day's flying. I was all over the place, and I knew I shouldn't have flown because I felt ill. So yeah, debrief yourselves. If you have a good or a bad day, when you're coming home, think about the day, what went good or what went bad. and try and remember that, and it will help you in your flying career for sure. So I hope some of that helps. It's just sort of a quick one, a few little hints and tips that I've been sort of sleeping on and thinking about. Because I do get students saying to me, I found this wing, and when they show me what it is, it's a C wing. So I'm trying to explain it to them. So I thought, well, if I do a little bit of a video, it's good for them and it's good for, hopefully, for you. So yeah, I hope that helps. And we'll get back out on the hill. I think it's going to be another week yet, but we'll get back on the hill as soon as we can, and I'll do a flying one. Cheers, guys.